Welcome to my new segment, Hooking in Horror, where I crochet and talk about all things horror. Today I'm working on the Fireside Throw, which is a new design I've come up with. And later on in the week, I will be putting this pattern up for free on my website, so stay tuned. But today's horror hot take is movies don't scare me. Well, actually, I've seen so many of them. I've seen hundreds of horror movies. So it gets to the point where if you've seen one, you've seen them all. So the real thing that scares me is what happens to the characters. If the characters are likable and engaging, then I am definitely more concerned about what's happening to them. Because after all, I'm not really afraid of ghosts. Anyway, one movie that really did this well was Final Destination Bloodlines, which I saw this past weekend. That movie had tremendous characters, and I felt their pain, even as things like wedding rings and nose piercings came into play. The characters were not just likable, but they were well-rounded, and I felt like I got to know them. So they weren't just caricatures, they were actual living, breathing characters whom I cared about. So some movies get lazy and they depend on those tropes to flesh out their characters. So you'll have things like the nerdy girl with glasses, or the dumb jock, or the stoned character who's comedy relief. Now that works out okay in some movies. For example, Cabin in the Woods, where they were trying to do that. They were making fun of horror movies, and in doing so, they had their stack characters. So that worked really well. But in a lot of cases, the movies I care about most are the characters that I care about most are the ones that are interesting and well thought out. So another example of that would be The Last of Us. I care about those characters. And in that beginning section of the first season, when Joel is introduced and his daughter and his brother are introduced, that's an important scene because it gives some idea of what kind of character Joel is and how he reacts to his family members. It makes him a more sympathetic character. So later on, when he is in trouble, you care about him more because of what you saw in the first place. So it's really important to me that the characters be likable and interesting, and that gets me much more involved in the movie. But anyway, that's today's horror hot take. And once again, I'm working on the Fireside Throw, which is going to be made available for free on my website later on this week. And until then, happy hooking and happy horror.